This Force 13's regional AU channel with the latest on the local weather scene. And we start off with South Australia. Severe weather warning for Mount Lofty Ranges, the Kangaroo Island, Murray Lands, the upper southeast, lower southeast parts of the mid-north coast. The damaging wind gusts are developing over the southeast, including parts of the Mount Lofty Ranges and the Kangaroo Island. A vigorous southwesterly airstream combined with isolated thunderstorms will affect the southeast of the state today. Damaging wind gusts with peak gusts around 90 to 100 kilometres forecast about the southeast, including parts of the Mount Lofty Ranges, the Kangaroo Island. Winds were expected to develop about the Kangaroo Island and the Fleurieu Peninsula during this morning, extending to remaining parts during the afternoon. Locations that could be affected: Mount Gambier, Murray Bridge, Kingscote, Malakudi, Menergy and Bordertown. There's a sheep graziers warning also in place, and a gale warning for the south central coast, the upper southeast and lower southeast coast, and a strong wind warning remains in place for the Adelaide metropolitan waters, the lower west central coast, Spencer Gulf, Gulf St Vincent and Investigator Strait. Victoria too is under a severe weather warning, also for damaging winds for the southwest, Wimmera and the Mallee forecast districts. Damaging wind gusts developing over the western parts of the state during today. And a vigorous west-northwesterly airstream combined with isolated thunderstorms will affect western parts of the state today. Damaging wind gusts with peak gusts of around 90 to 100 kilometres an hour are forecast over the western parts of the state. However, these conditions are expected to ease Saturday evening, and locations currently under the warning: Horsham, Stanwell, Hamilton, Warrnambool, Portland and Ararat. There's a gale warning for the central coast. Strong wind warning, Port Phillip Bay, the Western Port, West Coast, Central and East Gippsland coast. And for Sunday, a expanded gale wind warning. Bureau Meteorology has issued a top priority severe weather warning for damaging winds for the Illawarra south coast, the central tablelands including the southern tablelands. Possible damaging wind gusts developing over the Blue Mountains and parts of the southern highlands at Illawarra on Sunday. Vigorous westerly flow will develop over the southern parts of the New South Wales Sunday morning as another cold front moves across the southeast of the continent. Damaging wind gusts, or I should say damaging winds with peak gusts of around 90 kilometres an hour are possible over higher grounds in parts of the Illawarra, southern tablelands, central tablelands including the Blue Mountains. Gusty winds are also expected to develop from the early hours of Sunday morning before easing during Sunday afternoon Now Bower, Braidwood, Katoomba, Tawaga and Noinga are under the severe weather warning. There's also a sheep graziers warning for the central tablelands, southern tablelands, the southwest slopes, Snowy Mountains and the ACT. Strong wind warning in the Macquarie, Hunter, Sydney, Illawarra, Batemans and Eden coasts. And quite a few flood warnings remain in place. Now we have a look at the Bureau's 12 hourly and 24-hour rainfall outlook. Rainfall scale, right hand side of the screen. Winter felt cold in New South Wales. June was cold compared to long-term averages. July and August daytime temperatures were actually pretty close to average, but recent warm winters have declimatised us to cold, and also the number of rain days this July and August was unusually high, with the cloudy, dreary conditions making it feel colder than it actually was a lot of the time. Now here's the Bureau's total forecast of rain. It's the area in green. As an example, Sydney total 33 rain days during July-August, the most since 1934, and away from the coast of Condambolan also had 33 rain days during this period, the most since records began in 1994. Cobar had 27, and since records began in 1962. There was a similar story in many other areas in New South Wales, resulting in the wettest July on record for parts of eastern New South Wales, the wettest August on record for many central and western areas. Now, September to date has also been wet, and it's about to get wetter. Storm probabilities from 10 a.m. through to 2200 hours tomorrow, and you can clearly see where the activity is going to be. A trough and a cold front brought widespread rainfall of 20 to 60 millimetres about the central and western slopes and tablelands on Thursday and yesterday. Many coastal areas from Sydney northwards also picked up more than 15 millimetres. Many parts of the state are now sitting at above average rainfall for September so far, and it's only halfway through the month. On Friday, coastal areas including Sydney, Gosford and Coffs Harbour recorded their warmest day since April or May, reaching the mid-20s. Sydney too had an unseasonably warm night, with winds and high cloud keeping it above 16 Celsius, until it just dropped to 15.9 soon after sunrise. The winds at the 850 millibar level. This warm pattern is set to continue for the coast over the weekend, as dry westerly winds warm over the Great Divide. Further west, it's a different story. It's a series of cold fronts and troughs are pushing cloud and showers up against the ranges, bringing a cold, blustery weekend with significant alpine snow. The rest of the airstream with embedded fronts is a classic setup for stark weather differences between the coast and inland areas, but has been unusually absent during this year's cold season. Now we have a look at the precipitation and pressure. However, the forecast is for rain, a deep trough crossing the state between Tuesday and Thursday, bringing widespread rain and storms. Amounts are, as ever, subject to change, but it's unlikely at least 30 millimetres will fall over large parts of the central west and northwest slopes and nearby tablelands. Isolated heavier falls and lesser amounts over the rest. Once the trough reaches the coast, there are early indications of a low forming that is a priority item that will funnel deep, moist northeast winds, heavy rain over near coastal areas of the state. And as we draw closer to the end of this update, here's a look at the icon the Canadian GFS model. Current capital city temperatures 22.2 in Sydney, 13.6 Melbourne, 27.5 in Brisbane, Perth 19, 13.3 Adelaide, 17.1 Hobart, 32.6 in Darwin and 11.5 in Canberra. Now here's a look at cyclone probabilities, cyclone genesis. Also keeping an eye on the earthquake scene. There's been a magnitude 5.3, Kermadec Islands, New Zealand, Loyalty Islands 5.5, 5.2 Lae, Papua New Guinea. Magnitude 5, India, and the magnitude 7 a few days ago, Loyalty Islands. So the mid-range magnitude 5 streak is continuing. Please continue to monitor the AU channel for the latest information.